Some of the world's most famous horror films claim to be based on true events. But how much is Hollywood, and how much is reality? Today we explore one of the most chilling cases investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren, the inspiration behind the Conjuring 3. This is the real exorcism, the case that made even experienced paranormal investigators uneasy. Subscribe to Whispers Beyond Archives and stay tuned. More terrifying true stories await in this exorcism series. But the story behind The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is even more chilling in reality. In the movie, we see 11-year-old David Glatzel suddenly plagued by terrifying visions, his body twisting, his voice transforming, and his family calling on Ed and Lorraine Warren to help. Hollywood dramatizes these moments with cinematic possession scenes, dark shadows, violent convulsions, and even levitations. But in real life, the details were just as disturbing, if not more. In 1980, David's family moved into a small rental home in Connecticut while helping his sister Debbie and her boyfriend Arnie Johnson clean the house. David claimed to encounter a burned-looking old man who warned that moving in would bring disaster. Not long after, he began shouting profanities, slipping into deep, guttural voices far beyond that of a child, and even scribbling strange messages through what witnesses described as automatic writings. The Warrens, called in by the desperate family, became convinced that David was under demonic possession. They performed not one, but 3 separate exorcism rituals. Unlike the film, where these moments are condensed into a single dramatic sequence, witnesses to the real events described multiple terrifying episodes, David levitating, contorting, and even predicting future tragedy. Most chilling of all, he allegedly warned that Arnie Johnson, Debbie's boyfriend, would one day kill someone. But here's where the movie and reality begin to diverge. In The Conjuring 3, the possession of David is portrayed as one continuous ordeal, wrapped neatly into a single dramatic sequence. Yet in reality, the Glatzel family endured weeks of terror. David's strange behavior wasn't just violent fits. It included sudden trances, chilling premonitions, and even episodes of automatic writing, where his hand would scrawl words and phrases he claimed weren't his own. During one of the exorcisms, as the Warrens attempted to help young David, a chilling event occurred. A small plastic dinosaur suddenly moved forward on its own. At the same time, David's voice dropped into a deep, otherworldly tone. He whispered, "Beware, you all are going to die." For a moment the room seemed frozen, the air thick with tension. Then, almost as if questioning the presence, David asked, "Why are you here?" Another key difference is the ominous warning. In the film, David's torment foreshadows Arnie Johnson's eventual downfall, but according to eyewitnesses in the real case, David explicitly predicted that Arnett would kill someone. That chilling prophecy, made during the exorcisms, blurred the line between supernatural interference and future crime, something the movie only hints at, but never fully explores. What happened next turned this case into one of the most infamous in American history. In The Conjuring 3, the film shows Arnie Johnson becoming the unwilling host of the demon, after challenging it to leave David and take him instead. The possession leads to increasingly erratic behavior, culminating in a violent confrontation. In real life, the events were even darker. After the exorcisms, Arsene began to display many of the same symptoms David once had: sudden mood swings, trances, and violent outbursts. On February 16, 1981, following weeks of strange behavior, Arsene brutally stabbed his landlord, Alan Bono, during an argument. Witnesses claimed Arnie's eyes looked vacant, as if he wasn't fully present in his own body. The difference is striking. The movie frames the murder as the climax of a haunting tale, while the real trial became the first in U.S. history where demonic possession was formally used as a defense in court. The Warrens testified on Arnie's behalf, insisting he was under supernatural influence, a claim Hollywood glossed over, but which made headlines worldwide. The trial of Arnie Johnson became known as the Devil Made Me Do It case. His defense attorney attempted something unprecedented in U.S. legal history: to prove that his client was not guilty of murder because he had been possessed by a demon. The court, however, refused to accept demonic possession as a valid legal defense. In the end, Arnie was convicted of first-degree manslaughter, not murder, and sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. He served just 5. The movie portrays this as a dramatic, yet somewhat hopeful ending, love conquering evil. But the truth lingers in a far more unsettling way. The Glatzel family remained divided for decades, with some members insisting the possession was real, while others accused the Warrens of exploiting a vulnerable boy for fame. And so, the line between fact and fiction blurred. Was Arnie Johnson truly a victim of dark forces beyond human comprehension? Or simply a troubled man who committed a brutal crime? That chilling uncertainty is what keeps the story alive, long after the credits of The Conjuring 3 have rolled. After the case, Lorraine Warren and author Gerald Brittle published a book titled The Devil in Connecticut, documenting in detail the alleged possession of young David Glatzel. But not everyone agreed with their version of the story. David's brother, Carl Glatzel Jr., accused the Warrens of exaggeration and claimed the book painted him as a villain, someone who refused to believe in the supernatural. Carl went further, stating that the Warrens promised the family wealth and fame, saying the story could even help Arnie win his release from prison. Ultimately, Carl filed a lawsuit against both the Warrens and the publisher, alleging invasion of privacy and defamation. That book later inspired a TV movie, The Demon Murder Case, released in 1983, long before Hollywood would return to the story in the Conjuring universe. Decades later, the story was resurrected on the big screen. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, directed by Michael Chaves, premiered in 2021, with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga once again portraying Ed and Lorraine Warren. The film drew loosely from The Devil in Connecticut, but added heavy dramatization, such as Arnie collapsing with a heart attack during the trial, a scene that never happened. Its release reignited debate. How much of this case was truth, and how much was myth carefully shaped for entertainment? In 2023, Netflix released The Devil on Trial, a documentary that interviewed Carl Glatzel directly. In it, he challenged the Warrens' account, offering a very different and far less supernatural explanation of the events that shook his family. Hollywood gave us a story where love triumphed over darkness, but the real case of Arnie Johnson leaves us with no neat ending. Only unanswered questions, family scars, and the unsettling thought that maybe evil doesn't vanish when the credits roll. Do you believe this was truly the devil at work, or just a tragic crime wrapped in superstition? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy uncovering the true stories behind famous horror films, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more chilling investigations.